What is poppin', y'all? It's your boy D-Mark, aka D-Ron. So back with another video. So I am going to be doing my SummerSlam 2026 Night 2 review. And I will say, Night 2 tonight was way more better than Night 1 that we got last night. At least Night 2 was better than Night 1. I mean, despite the lack of build going into these matches for the last 3 weeks or so, up until this weekend of SummerSlam, hasn't really been perfect or great, or even else good. But some of the matches, I will say, were good, decent. Except for a little bit of things that I do need to point out that I literally did not like. So, Kevin Owens. Let's talk about Kevin Owens for a little bit. So Kevin Owens ended up returning. I was not expecting that he would just show up in Minneapolis and actually being in this match, which it was originally supposed to be Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. Out of nowhere, Nick Aldis, that it's now going to be a triple, well, not triple threat, but a fair four-way to whoever the number one contender is to go after CM Punk for the WWE title. So Gunther ended up being out after his match against Nick Aldis last night from Night 1. And then he's working double shifts again, now also being in this match. And then Kevin Owens had a special return from last night. And tonight, Kevin Owens had like one of the biggest highlights of the show. I mean, he got like the biggest pop. I mean, there were some fans that you see on TV was crying on camera and all that other stuff, and people were so hyped to see him back. I was so happy to see him back because of how SmackDown has been in the past year. Something needs to happen, and I'm glad and blessed that Kevin Owens is back, and Kevin Owens has won the match of the Fair 4-Way with CM Punk, and now Kevin Owens is going to be the main talking point. So that's something I will get into in a second. With Baron Corbin and Trick Williams match, I honestly didn't really care about, especially with this dumb ending, which I thought it was so stupid, by the way, that they had Trick Williams lost. Now, he's going to probably get his rematch back somewhat, probably next Friday or so, or this past Friday. I don't really know about that. But I'll get into everything in a second. Since we're talking about, I'm just going to talk about a little bit before I get into the actual review. So the new interim champion, women's champion, Chelsea Green, even though I wasn't not the biggest fan of her, but I will say at least she got her moment, and the crowd was behind her throughout the entire match. Like, the crowd was totally behind her wanting to win this match. Like, I did not see Charlotte win this match. I didn't see Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, or Tiffany Stratton win this match. And I'm glad that finally, WWE did something right to get somebody a chance at a world title. Well, not a world title, but a temporary world title. So, congrats to Chelsea Green for getting her moment. And I'll have to be real with you with Chelsea Green for a bit. Since now you're the interim women's champion, you better hold it as much long as you can, because I don't know when Rhea Ripley's going to come back. But you better enjoy it as you can, because you might actually have like a sharp rub behind you. I'm just saying. The Danhausen and Dominic match, I don't really too much care about. So I'm not going to really talk about that. And especially Chad Gable getting his moment in his hometown Minneapolis, winning his first singles championship in his career. Especially one of the best matches of the night is Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. One of their best matches they have, by the way. We're going to get into all the matches. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already yet, Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already yet. Follow me on social media. Turn on notifications because I will be posting every single week. So any further ado, let's get straight into this review of Night 2 of SummerSlam. So, the match started off with a fair four-way. Well, the match was originally supposed to be Sami Zayn and Finn Balor, but they add Gunther and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up defeating Finn Balor, Gunther, Sami Zayn to a number one contender slot who fights CM Punk for the Undisputed Championship. Now, like I said, Kevin Owens coming back was literally like the highlight of the show. You know, I have seen him on social media at this event, at meet and greet or somewhere that he was like peeking out from and all this other stuff, which I thought it was from Fanatics Fest from like a month ago, but they was doing like a meet and greet this past weekend, which I forgot what it's called, but it was called like a meet and greet. And Kevin was peeking in and out, like behind with Dominic when he was signing autographs and taking pictures and all that other stuff. But I didn't expect for Kevin Owens to come back tonight, which I was completely shocked that he actually came back. And I was like, oh my God, Kevin Owens is back. And this is something that I've been praying for Kevin to come back and actually save SmackDown. Since now Kevin Owens is the number one contender for fighting CM Punk for the WWE Championship now, imagine a lot of promos that we're going to get from those two this Friday. That's something that I'm looking for. CM Punk is a good mic promoter, and Kevin Owens is the same. So, you better I hope WWE does not mess this up or screw this up. Let these guys work with each other on the mic. Do something to get people invested. Do something to make me be attuned into what they're about to do. Just let it happen. Just let these guys, two of the best talkers in wrestling, let them cook and see how this does. But I'm glad Kevin Owens has finally returned, and I can't wait to see what SmackDown and see how SmackDown now since Kevin Owens back. I cannot wait to see how SmackDown really be. To be honest, y'all, SmackDown hasn't really been all that great, to be honest. It really hasn't. SmackDown has just been a dead show. It really has. SmackDown has not been the best show. But with Randy coming back and Kevin coming back, I mean, hopefully something, I'm not expecting for SmackDown to be watchable again, but hopefully something will just bring some life into watching SmackDown, at least something, to get my oddballs glued to the fucking computer screen or even else the TV screen. Just let CM Punk, let Kevin Owens work with each other. Just let them do it. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Just let these guys, don't give these guys no fucking AI, fucking January fucking scripts. Don't get them these scripts from these uncoordinated fucking writers from WWE Creative. Just let them go out there and fucking cook. Let them cook. That is all I'm asking for. If they cook, I will be somewhat interested. If they don't, then I probably won't be. But the show of SmackDown is still going to be completely utter garbage for what it has been for like the past couple months. So let's see how that goes. And then next, Baron Corbin ended up defeating Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Y'all, I'm going to be real. The match itself that I was not a pawn on. I just wasn't. And what did not make no sense about this match was I thought it was so stupid that the fact that you had Trick Williams losing this match to Baron Corbin that just came back like 3 weeks ago and did not even explain or give an explanation of why he's attacking Trick Williams, attacking Carmelo Hayes, but he's looking at the United States title, something that he wants, which y'all gotta keep this in mind. Baron Corbin has been out of WWE for like a year ago when he got fired, and now all of a sudden that we are going to see something new from Baron Corbin that we never seen before. But Baron Corbin didn't really change much of anything. And Baron Corbin tonight, when he came out to the ring, the crowd was dead silent. Dead silent for Baron Corbin when he came out. People did not give no fucks about Baron Corbin, or that the fact that the fans did not give 2 fucks about this match because there was no real amount of story going into it. But Baron Corbin all of a sudden is being fired from WWE from a year ago, but now all of a sudden WWE all of a sudden now want to bring him back. He wins the United States title, and I'm just like, what? So here's what I don't really understand about this. So Lil Yachty came out with Trick Williams, and Lil Yachty throughout the entire match, I mean, he was interfering in the match like several times, and he got the kendo stick out trying to disqualify Trick Williams that he did a few times, and then the end of the match. Here's what's so stupid about this. So Lil Yachty is standing on the ring apron, trying to like distract the referee, and then out of nowhere, Trick Williams strikes Baron Corbin into Lil Yachty and put him to the table that the table didn't even break. And then Baron Corbin used the United States title and bashed Trick Williams in the head. He hits the end of days, and Baron Corbin is the United States champion. The ending of the match did not make no sense to me at all. It literally did not make no sense. Because how the hell do you get distracted to somebody like Lil Yachty, which I wish he wasn't on ringside. It could have just been a one-on-one match with no outside interferences. And a couple of times Lil Yachty did that. So I'm most likely just going to blame this on Lil Yachty. Sorry. I'm going to blame this on Lil Yachty because he has no reason to be out there other than the fact that he has been a manager to Trick Williams since the Raw WrestleMania. Because to me, I thought that was only going to be like a one-time thing. And yet, for the last couple of weeks, I didn't see Lil Yachty with Trick Williams. But other than what I saw tonight. So, I really don't know how I feel about Baron Corbin winning a title that got white fur on it, which it does not look right on him. Since now Baron Corbin won, I didn't really like this match, or that I didn't really care about. But I don't know. The end of the match to me just did not make no sense of like how Baron Corbin just won the match and wins the title. I don't know what they're going to do with Trick Williams, but hopefully he gets his rematch. If they don't, then Trick Williams is going to have to do something else. Being in a fucking mid-card feud with somebody. I don't know who that be, but it's going to have to be somebody. Because there's a lot of mid-carders, not a lot of mid-carders, but there's some that Trick Williams can go up against. Like Ilya Dragunov. We already see Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest, and who else? Oh, I know. Johnny Gargano. Because what has he been doing for the past year other than laying on fucking crate boxes and laying on tables, planking? Johnny Gargano should be doing something other than what WWE is making him do a role for. Like, I really do not understand what they're doing with Johnny Gargano. I really don't. And the saddest thing about this, I saw something on Instagram just like last night of where fans are taking pictures where Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, as Johnny Gargano is planking on the table while talking to fans and taking pictures with. To me, y'all, that's just sad. That's honest. That's really sad to me. That the fact that they can't find nothing for this guy to do other than what he's doing, planking on park benches, bus stops, crate boxes, couches, anything you can think of to lay your fucking body on. Like Johnny is like looking like he fucking lost his 9-to-5 job just like a past year and so fucking hard to trying to find another job that you got fired from. Like that's how Johnny is. Looking depressed, can't even figure out, like when his next meal is gonna be like. I don't get that. That's sad, y'all. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, but that's just sad to me, man. It really is. But anyways, this match was just whatever. I didn't really too much care about, but that ending, no, I really did not like that at all. So, the 5-way ladder match for the interim women's championship. Chelsea Green ended up defeating Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, and Tiffany Stratton. Now, the match itself was not really too much chaos, except for like a couple spots, like when Lash Legend did like a power bomb. It was kind of like somewhat of a power bomb that she did on Tiffany Stratton to the ladder, which I thought that was somewhat cool. I guess I don't know, but the match was nothing all that interesting. And there was not a lot of interferences, but B-Fab and Mia Yim interfere in the match, attacking Chelsea Green, and they try to help Jade Cargill climb up to the ladder and retrieve the belt, which, while everybody was getting up in full recovery, Chelsea Green is stuck on the ladder, upside down, like she's dead, until other women was starting to get on the ladder and try to, get the belt. Well, you see Tiffany Stratton and Lash Legend being taken down, and then, out of nowhere, Chelsea Green just woke up like she was asleep for, damn 2 hours. So she just sets up, climbs the ladder, and achieves the title, and she's the new interim women's WWE championship. And the crowd popped for her. I will say good for Chelsea Green, and I'm not really the best fan of her, but I will say at least she got her moment in front of people, in front of fans that she deserved. Like I said, I don't know when Rhea Ripley's gonna come back, but Chelsea better enjoy that belt as much as she can until Rhea comes back, because you may not know when Rhea Ripley's gonna show up and actually wanted to get a rematch. So Chelsea, if I was you, you better watch your back. Just a quick warning shot to you, by the way. You need to watch your back if Rhea Ripley comes back from her recovery. Just saying. But good for Chelsea Green, but congratulations to her. I don't know how her title reign is going to be like, but I'm going to have to see how that is. So this next match I'm not going to really talk too much about. And y'all know what this next match is. Danhausen defeats Dominic Mysterio in a Human Money on a Pole match. Y'all know who won this. Danhausen. Nobody cares about this. Moving on. The next match, Chad Gable ended up defeating Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. I will say Chad deserves to get his moment because it's in his hometown, and I'm glad that he got finally get this moment in front of his hometown, in front of his wife, his family, his kids, and all of that stuff. And the match itself was a really good, decent match, by the way. I wish this match would have been 15 to 20 minutes, at least 15 minutes. I'm not saying the match should have gone like 20 minutes. It could have went about literally like 15 minutes into the match. And some of these matches, in my opinion, was just way too short. And some of the matches could have been a little bit longer. Like 5 to 6 minutes added to the match. But you got 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minute, and 11-minute matches. And what's worse is commercials kind of irritating me throughout the show. But Chad Gable got his moment, and the worst dumb ending of two when Chad got his moment was somebody in a fucking mascot, in a bulldog mascot outfit that was advertised, hand Chad Gable 2 mug root beer sodas. And I don't even drink root beer, which that was sponsored in tonight's match of Chad Gable and Penta. Gee, I wonder whose idea that was. You knew whose idea that was. TKO. They literally ruined an ending moment of where Chad Gable could have literally said his speech for about 5 to 6 minutes. But you got this bulldog mascot out there wanting to advertise a fucking mug root beer soda. And I feel like that's kind of ruined the moment right there, in my opinion. But at least Chad Gable said his speech and all that stuff, that he's Chad Gable and he's the new Intercontinental Champion. So congratulations to Chad Gable on being the new Intercontinental Champion. Hopefully, where his title reign goes, I don't know. I'm going to have to see for myself. But in my opinion, that ending of where they had to advertise a mug root beer soda just kind of ruined it. Whatever. And then, of course, the main event. Roman ended up defeating Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, like I said in the beginning, Roman and Seth has their moments. They have their backstories of the days that they was in the Shield. Even though for the past couple of weeks their build to SummerSlam hasn't been that perfect, but the match itself, they delivered. They completely delivered, and I knew they was going to put on a good match because Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are one of the two best to be in the ring with. And they put out an outstanding match, as it should be. I mean, they were doing a lot of things in their heyday of the Shield. I mean, Roman was doing a curve stomp and Seth was doing a spear. A lot of spears from Roman. Roman powerbomb Seth through a table, and then Seth powerbombs Roman into a table. And the element of both of them two was just inedible. It was very inedible to me. But they was going all in each other. They were really going all in. And I don't know if this is really going to be their last match or not. They probably were like setting this up like this is going to be like the final time, or that this is going to be like the final time before like these guys end up retired. Because I feel like that's kind of what this is. To like have people really feel Roman and Seth that this is going to be the last time, they're going to fight, which I'm guessing it is. I don't know. But the winner, obviously, was Roman Reigns defeating Seth Rollins. One of the main event matches of tonight's show. One of the better matches of the show was better. I'm not gonna say Roman and Seth was the better match, but Chad Gable and Penta had a good decent match, and so as the Fair 4-Way. But yeah, man. After Roman beat Seth, they was looking eye to eye each other, and they do the shield fist bump, and then they do their little shield fist bump and all, and celebrate Rollins selling his victory and all that stuff and all that. So, and that's how the show ended. Yeah, man. SummerSlam hasn't really been the best bills going into SummerSlam this past weekend, but at least some of the matches did deliver, and some of them was good and decent. I mean, if you really want to ask which night is the better night for SummerSlam this weekend, I had to go with night 2. And night 1 was just not the better show from last night, only because of how everything with CM Punk and Cody. I mean, if you look back at that match, I mean, like I said yesterday in my review of SummerSlam Night 1, I don't think CM Punk or Cody don't really have the best in-ring chemistry with one another. I feel like they just do not have that in-work chemistry with one another. I mean, it may look cool if they're in a tag team, but in a match together as two baby faces, and that's just what kind of just turned me off, because the match wasn't it for me. Within 5 minutes, they started off things slow until the middle of the match, until things just started to pick up. And when Randy Orton came and caused Cody Rhodes the match. So, I don't know which better night SummerSlam I'm going to have to choose. But if I would have to choose, I'm choosing night 2. Only because of Kevin Owens coming back was the real highlight of the show, was the first star of the show, especially with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins being the main event, claiming that this is going to be the final and last time these two guys is going to be fighting each other. Even though they have the Shield background history when they first started 12 years ago. Seth and Roman definitely put a good show in, especially with some matches. I mean, you got a lot of title changes tonight that it was memorable and probably going to left the fans happy to go home with. But night 1 was just not the right show. It just wasn't. It was honestly disappointed. Especially with Olafemi and Brock Lesnar. I feel like they just kind of rushed that match so that CM Punk and Cody do not have their main event. But they wanted to put the main event for Oba and Brock Lesnar in the main event of Hell in a Cell, which it was basically the same match that they had from Clash in Italy 2 months ago. And this is what this match was from them to recapture with. I don't know, man. I'm just speaking with my thoughts. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, Kevin Owens is back. We got two new champions. I'm wondering what's going to happen tomorrow night on Raw, especially what's going to happen on Friday Night SmackDown with Kevin Owens returning. That's something with Kevin Owens and CM Punk now that I'm most likely is going to be interesting too, since now Kevin Owens is back. So I would love to see how that plays out. But yeah. So this is it for my night 2 of SummerSlam review. And I did make a post on my my YouTube page where you guys can vote. I did make a post about that. I said, which nights of SummerSlam was better this week? And I recently just posted it just now, so y'all can go ahead and vote to see what show on SummerSlam was the better night. Rather, it's night 1 or night 2. So that's already on the poll on my page, so y'all can go ahead and vote. But yeah, that is it for this I almost said WrestleMania. SummerSlam weekend event. So y'all let me know in the comments, what was y'all favorite match of SummerSlam this past weekend that y'all enjoyed? Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Follow me on social media down below. I'll be back with another video. Peace.
My moment to shine. This is my time of flight. I've been grinding forever just for this very night. I've been pushing for many moments like this. This time it's undervalued and no one ever could.